Hello, we are from team 10515, not 1892, Extreme Voltage, and we're going to do a demonstration on the color sensor and how it can read red, blue, and all of the colors needed for this year's FTC challenge. So I'd like to begin by saying the color sensor seems like a fairly easy thing. However, it takes a while to program, and there are many things that can, many faults that can come and stop from this color sensor working. So we'll begin by running this color sensor and showing exactly how it works, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the difficulties you may be facing in making it work. So this program is now running. As you can see, the LED has turned on. If the LED light does not turn on, then that means that there's something wrong in your configuration or your wiring, because if this does not come on, it cannot give you back the readings that it needs. As you can see now on our driver station phone, the values for red, green, blue, clear, and hue values are all 0. Red, green, and blue are the only colors given there because these three colors make up any color that are needed to make up any of the colors in the world that are needed in programming. These values will change as soon as it detects a different color. To understand the values, you can use Google. Like 255 on all three means white, 0 means black, and certain different values that we'll see now will tell us whether it's red or blue or green. The hue values show the saturation, and two other terms that we will also need depending on your advanced use of the color sensor. So going on, I will now move the color sensor onto the red tape and watch what happens on the phone. As you can see, this tape is currently taped to the table, and it is now over the thing, but as you can see, it's giving us no readings. This brings me to the first difficulty you might be facing. If the color sensor is too high, it may not detect what you want it to detect. Watch now as I remove the tape and move it up, it detects everything. Watch. And now go to the phone. As you can see, red has turned to 4. That means it sees a bright red. Proving my point about sometimes the color sensor just can't detect that far. I would say about 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters max. So you want this to be as low as possible. Now we're going to move it back to the blue. As you can see again, no readings. This is why we have to lift it up and move it 4 to 5 centimeters, and you will now see a reading underneath blue. Now, you might be wondering why only red and blue? Those are the colors that are already given. If you don't mind, I will now pick up a purple. Thank you. And this purple will also be recognized by our color sensor. Look, there's blue valued at 2, green valued at 1, and red valued at 2, which brings us at the color of purple. For you to make use of the color sensor, you will need to memorize some of these readings through practice and through memorization, because this is the only way for you to understand what your readings come back on competition day. Now, some of the readings that you may get are continuously changing, but once you have a fixed surface, because right now I'm holding them, they sometimes change, but once you have a fixed surface and this at a good point, it should read everything properly. Now I'd like to go on to talk about some of the programming and difficulties that some people may have faced. One thing I'd like to mention is the color sensor is connected to our core device interface module, and here it needs to be connected to the I2C port. The I2C port, and we place it in port 0 and you might be confused whether it's port 5 or port 0 because I2C does not label them. But if you look over, it says A0 and D0, which tells us that this I2C port is also 0. We also had some difficulty in figuring that out on whether it was port 5 or port 0, but we do have that figured out now. Another thing that I will tell you, if you take this wire and if you plug it in the wrong way with the black on the far left side, the color sensor will not work. As you can see, the LED is gone. Now, as soon as I change this back to the right way, which is red on the leftmost side, the LED should turn right back on. As you can see, the LED has turned right on. This is one of the difficulties that we face, that many others may face, and so we would like for you guys to know about it. Lastly, we will be sending out our programmed code into our next video, so be on the lookout for that. But the code isn't too hard. You want to make sure that you enable the LED to true so that it turns on, and that you want to make sure that it gives you the readings back for the hue values. And you definitely want to have a telemetry so that you can get these readings back and they're not just like hovering out in the air. And one thing I'm sure somebody may have noticed is in our other videos, we had some other attachments for this year that we showcased, and it's not on this robot. This is because this is our test robot that we're using to test multiple sensors and other devices, and this year's competition robot is still being in the building process with multiple things. So I hope you guys understood what we mentioned in this color sensor tutorial. If you guys have any more questions, then you guys can comment and we can get back to you. Other than that, I hope you like this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because we'll be posting videos like this to help your FTC team out all the time.